This is the Good Government Show.
Taking on those challenges of a big city, but you still have oftentimes a small town mentality, which is the community says, fix it. You got to fix it. What I had to learn is be patient. So oftentimes things that I thought could be done in 30 days take 6 months. The things don't move as quickly as you would like them to do. Good governance is the ability to have good conversations about issues that face you and come to a reasonable decision in how to manage that. And what you try to do is manage what I call the silent majority. They oftentimes don't say much to you, but if you do something wrong, they do. So if I go through shopping and rarely anybody comes up and talks to me, probably doing the right thing. If I go and I have 5 to 6 people come and say, hey, I don't like what this is doing or what is happening, then I have a sense of I might be going the wrong direction.
I have to admit, I don't know too much about Fargo, North Dakota. So when I got a chance to talk to the mayor, I was interested to hear what's going on in his city. Honestly, when I think of Fargo, I think about the Coen Brothers movie. I did ask him about that and what was going on in Fargo. Welcome to the Good Government Show. I'm Dave Martin. First, help us share the message of good government by liking us and sharing us where we are. We're on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Please share our show with your friends and review us right here where you're listening. And join our Good Government Show community. Check out our website for the link. Fargo is a growing city, according to Mayor Tim Mahoney, and as you'll hear, his path to government, well, it's not typical. He's actually still a practicing doctor. Listen to what he says about how the jobs actually are similar in some ways. Mayor Mahoney was recently honored by the North Dakota League of Cities. He was this year's recipient of the Leadership Excellence Award. He was cited for his work in a water supply project, which we talk about. He was also cited for his efforts in the city's downtown revitalization. The biggest challenge, as the mayor explains, is managing a growing city. He also said Fargo is hiring. He says the city has some 5,000 job openings. So if you need a job and a change of scenery, consider Fargo. Call the mayor. To manage the growth, the city says they're changing housing construction. They're putting more people in less space. He explains that. And since it's the only thing I know about Fargo, I did ask about the movie's impact on the city. Just listen. So, coming up, my conversation with Mayor Tim Mahoney, mayor of Fargo, North Dakota. The Good Government Show is sponsored by Our. That's O-U-R for Our Community. Get involved. We hear that all the time from government leaders. Our co-brands with your government's name and logo. Your staff and the people you serve are connected and part of your community. From any device, your members provide reliable data and meaningful feedback. Ask a question like, do we want more parkland or better homeless services? More engaged conversations come through the Our app. Visit Ourco, that's OURCO.com, and book a demonstration. It was called the War to End All Wars, but it didn't. 3 royal cousins, all kings, one from England, one from Germany, and one from Russia, blundered their way into a war, a completely avoidable war that left millions dead in the trenches across Europe. Good Government Show executive producer Jim Ludlow details the blunders, mistakes, and bluster that started World War I that didn't end all wars. The book, The Royal Cousins, details the events and creates an alternative history. Imagine if World War I never happened. It didn't have to. Just read it yourself. Download the book today on Amazon. It's just 99 cents and a timely look at history. Welcome to the Good Government Show. My guest is Dr. Tim Mahoney, the mayor of Fargo, North Dakota. Welcome, Mr. Mayor. Welcome, Dr. Mahoney.
Thank you. It's great to be on.
Thank you. So let's talk about Fargo. You are the first mayor from North Dakota I've had on the show. What's happening?
Fargo is a vibrant community that's been growing. We've grown by 20% over the last 10 years. We're up to 133,000 people. We're a metro area of 250,000 people. And in our state, we're the largest community that exists. We've had good growth, good economics, combination of medicine, education, manufacturing, and agricultural. So it has worked well in our community, and we have been able to thrive.
I don't know a lot about North Dakota and nor much about Fargo. You know, you talk about 200,000 people. I live in Brooklyn. That's my backyard. That's my neighborhood. What are the challenges that you have there in managing sort of a very rural city, kind of far removed from the spotlight? How's that for couching it?
Well, that's good.
Thank you. Is that fair?
That's fair. I mean, we oftentimes we're considered to be a small town feeling. You're Brooklyn, the differences in size.
Yes.
But what happened is we're evolving into a metropolitan type area. So what happens with that, you have the different challenges, crime, you have drugs, you have different things that happen in your community that maybe you weren't used to before. Homelessness comes about, people get about mental health issues as well. So it's kind of taking on those challenges of a big city, but you still have oftentimes a small town mentality, which is the community says, fix it. You got to fix it.
So is that a challenge in sort of changing the mindset of the people who live there who kind of maybe don't want that big city feel?
Yes. So what has happened is that you begin to evolve. The growth is good. What used to complain by our employers, they didn't have enough workers. So the problem was we couldn't find workers. Now North Dakota is the number one state in influx of people coming from out the United States into our state to work. And we have a job market. I have 5,000 jobs available in our community.
You have 5,000 jobs available in your community?
Yes.
So if you're looking for work, come to Fargo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What are they hiring? What are they doing?
Well, we have all sorts of things going on. We have second largest Microsoft company plant in our area. So a lot of entrepreneurs, young people, computer type things. We're doing autonomous farming. We're trying to teach autonomous farming. So you take a lot of engineers that play in that field. We have the largest medical center in the tri-state area. It's the biggest one between Minneapolis and Seattle. So we have good medical facility and research that's going on in there. Aldevron is a company that helped manufacture our DNA, RNA that was utilized for vaccines. So we've had a multi-growth community that has a lot of different venues that happen. We have oil and gas in the western part of the state, and we are the manufacturing center for that. You need big tanks, you need big pipes to handle the oil companies.
Sure.
So it's a good mix of a lot of different economic factors.
I recall a little bit about this, about the oil and gas exploration, and for a while you were booming, right?
Yes.
And that's sort of backed off a little bit?
Well, for a while we really boomed, and then it went down for a while, which was catastrophic, but now it's come back. And I think we do 1.5 million barrels of oil a day, or a month, excuse me. And it's coming back. We hope with Trump policies it'll improve a bit, but there's a lot of oil and gas in our areas that we can export outside the state.
And doesn't that create housing challenges for all these workers who are there to give them a place to live?
We, in initial boom, had real problems with that in the western part of the state, but a lot of that has been fixed up because they were able then to add housing. Now, as it comes back, they have excess housing that can help take care of that.
How is it, one of the biggest challenges across the nation is housing. How are you dealing with that in Fargo?
We need 17,000 housing units in the next 10 years. And so we have the same struggles other people have, is we need affordable housing. We need housing for 55 and older, and we could fill that in with any variety of new growth and development. That is something that I continue to look as a challenge.
So as mayor, what can you do about that?
We oftentimes will have tax incentives or do different things that might encourage somebody to put a housing unit in our area. We look at increased density, so I can put 98 people per acre in a higher density apartment complex. In our environment, we used to build 3-story apartments. Right. Now we're building 4, 6-story type apartments that we never used to do before, but structurally we figured out how to do it. We're putting now apartments where you have parking inside the building itself versus on big parking lots. So increased density, increased ability to put more people in one area. I know in Brooklyn you know how to do that, but we're starting to learn vertical is good.
Stop by the house. We'll take a walk around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it gets cold in Fargo.
Yes. Our environment is a challenge, but oftentimes it helps us in some ways because that is something in which people have learned to be resilient in that environment. And we look across the nation, we're somewhat stable as far as, even though it's cold, we continue to go on and have things happening. We live on a very flat lake bed, basically, very stable as far as the structures and things that happen. On the coast, we sometimes see the tragedies that go on, but we seem to have a area in which you can live safely and not have as many environmental catastrophic issues.
So I have to ask this question. I'm sorry, you're probably bored with it. A lot of people probably know Fargo from the movie Fargo. Did that help or hurt the city?
I think it helped us get some notoriety.
Okay.
People kind of wondered, Tim, what's it really like? And I've always had people walk up to me and kind of talk about the wood chipper and different things that go on. But it often made it a name that you weren't surprised about, and you put your curiosity on.
Yeah.
What we see happen in the community is oftentimes if you come as a visitor into a coffee shop, people will inquire about who you are, what are you doing in Fargo, and we find it is kind of a icebreaker.
In a friendly way, I hope.
A friendly way.
Not like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, no,
like,
yeah.
Hi, nice to see you, I hope.
Yes, and then people like to encourage you, what can we do to help you? So I really like to see that.
How long have you been mayor?
Since 2014.
How's it going?
Good. We have good people, and the community is wonderful. People want to see things happen.
You said you were a surgeon, a doctor. What on earth possessed you to run for mayor?
Well,
because you didn't. It's not like you had a nice, easy, relaxing job.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting because I said, you go from conversing with one person, talking them into surgery, and I call it the 5-minute rule. I meet you and I have to talk you into having surgery. You need your appendix out, your gallbladder, or something out.
Yeah.
I've got 5 minutes to convince you that I'm the guy to do it for you, and we got to get it done. Yeah. So when I went into public service, it was learning how to talk a group of people, and in a sense, it's somewhat similar. You have to have them try to convince them to see your vision and do the same thing.
So this is the Good Government Show, and we always want to hear about good government projects. What are you working on?
We're working on right now drought protection for the city of Fargo. So we're going to take water from the Missouri River, bring it over, put it in our Cheyenne River, and have the ability to have sustainability if we have a major drought.
How is it going?
It's going good. We're into it. 10% of it's built so far. It's a 72-inch pipe. It's huge.
Okay.
And it goes across the state, and we're getting funding.
That's a lot like vascular surgery.
No, not at all. And then it's $1.1 billion that we're working on. So we're working on federal money as well as state money to get that financed.
Was it a challenge for you being a doctor to suddenly be thrust into, government service and, being a city mayor? A whole different skill set, right?
Yes, it was. What I had to learn is be patient. So oftentimes things that I thought could be done in 30 days take 6 months. The things don't move as quickly as you would like them to do. And then sometimes you'd think you had a brilliant idea and the public didn't like it at all. So you had to learn how to. Well, education is very important. I find that a lot of times people are fearful of something. You have to explain it to them.
Could you give me an example of something that you thought was brilliant that the city decided wasn't? There's a few, but...
Let me think about that a little bit.
Sure. When you came into the office, did you get support right away? Or was it like, oh, let's see what this doctor could do?
It took a little while because people were curious where your heart was. That's what I said when I first ran for office. People were saying, we know you're educated, Tim, but what are you going to do to us? Because it's a little worried that you may have ideas that don't mesh with the people. So you have to kind of work on that. Early in my office, we were going to move a 10 Commandments. So we had the 10 Commandments monument on our city property. I thought it was a simple thing to move that. You find that people are very attached to the 10 Commandments. So the thing that I learned on that is you have to listen to people before you say, sure, we can move that. You have to say, okay, do you want to move it? Are you okay with moving it? So oftentimes you have to learn is what is the belief of the people before you make a decision for them.
Did you, are the 10 Commandments moved? Did they get moved?
They did not get moved. It stayed in the same place.
They're staying in the same place. What's the biggest challenge that you faced, as mayor?
Presently now our challenge is our homeless population, trying to figure out what to do with them. Our downtown went from a $150 million property to a $1 billion property in the downtown area. So it's entertainment, banks, finance, things going on. And we had never been faced by the issue of a homeless population drifting into that environment. So it's trying to figure out how we manage our homeless people.
And with the weather that you have, I would imagine that you need to get these people indoors quickly.
So we do shelter
from like October to like May.
Well, come on now, it's getting better than that.
Okay, all right. Well, I told you I've never been there. So.
Yeah, we have to shelter 40 to 50 people every night just because of the elements that we have. And about 30 years ago, we had somebody freeze to death outside. So we really don't ever want that to happen.
No, of course not. Tell me about Fargo that people don't know. Surprise me with something about Fargo.
Well, I have to brag a little bit because the Bison just won their 10th national championship in football. So that's our football team.
Which team was this?
The Bison, NDSU.
Okay.
So we were just in Frisco. We've on the national
North Dakota State University.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're one of the best teams there is. Number two is we have a very active entrepreneurs that work together. And what I say is they have energy within the community. So what they oftentimes do is when people come into the community, they welcome them and then try to figure out how they can help those people become successful.
Are you a lifelong resident of Fargo?
I'm a newbie into the community. In 1980, I moved into the community.
1980, that makes you new?
Well, at that time it did. And everybody said the newbies are different than the older people that were in the community. But we've had 80% new people come in since 1990 into the community.
All right, we're going to get to your philosophy of government, and that's going to come up right after this.
Okay.
Once you wrap up this episode of The Good Government Show, give a listen to our friends over at Good News for Lefties. This daily podcast highlights news stories that show there's more good news out there. Other people in government are really trying to do the right thing. That's Good News for Lefties. Listen where you're listening now. After you get done with this episode, hear more good government stories with our friends at How to Really Run a City. Former mayors Kasim Reed of Atlanta and Michael Nutter of Philadelphia and their co-host, journalist and author Larry Platt, talk with guests and other mayors about how to really get stuff done in cities around the nation. Check them out where you're listening now or through their nonprofit news site, thephiladelphiacitizen.org/podcasts. So this is the Good Government Show questionnaire. Don't start reading the questions. I can see your eyes. These are spontaneous thoughts.
Okay.
All right. You've been the mayor for, quick math, 10 years?
Yes.
10 years? Define good government.
Good governance is the ability to have good conversations about issues that face you and come to a reasonable decision in how to manage that. And what you try to do is manage what I call the silent majority. They oftentimes don't say much to you, but if you do something wrong, they do.
All right. So how do you judge your success? I mean, elections are certainly one way, but, week to week, month to month, how do you know if you're doing a good job?
I usually tell it by what I call the grocery store tour. So when I'm at the grocery store, people come up and talk to me. So if I go through shopping and rarely anybody comes up and talks to me, probably doing the right thing. If I go and I have 5 to 6 people come and say, hey, I don't like what this is doing or what is happening, then I have a sense of I might be going the wrong direction.
You're out in the community or you're everywhere?
Yes, the mayor is expected to come to every opening of any new business that goes on in the community.
Have you had a lot of new business openings?
We do have a lot of business openings. So I view that as an opportunity to see what's happening.
Sure.
But also you get some feedback as to what they think is happening in the community or what we can do better. So oftentimes when you go to an opening, you find out something about the company you didn't know or how their growth has been or what they've done. Talked to a gentleman the other day. He moved his headquarters to our community from another community and asked him why he did that. Well, he said Microsoft has these people who work for them, and in about 10 years they're looking for something new to do. And those are the people he wants to hire for his company because then he can plop them into the high-tech stuff they're doing. They're well-versed, know what to do, and he pays them a high salary. So it's much easier than him to recruit out of the colleges because they don't have the experience.
Isn't North Dakota popular as a call center?
Yes.
Explain why.
Well, as a call center, oftentimes people are pleasant on the phone, and when you get on the phone, they seem to be reasonable people when they talk to you.
All right.
And they don't have those funny accents you get somewhere else sometimes.
Okay.
So they have a tendency, I think, sometimes to view them as honest people.
And isn't it sort of central to the entire state, right? Like the entire nation?
So Microsoft's billing and accounting is in Fargo. So basically we do all the checks for Microsoft, and that's part of the reason I like that, because we're the center core of the United States.
You talked about going to the grocery store and people, if they leave you alone, if things are good. What else do you do? I mean, how do you know, when you're finished your week, do you go, I did a good job? Here's how I know.
Well, what's funny now is, which I expected a phone would be very busy, but it's really not your phone that's busy, it's your emails.
Yes.
So you will get emails, and oftentimes my commissioners will make decisions. If they get 20 emails, then maybe it's something they should think about. If they get only 5 or 6, then nobody's concerned about it. And I was very surprised that sometimes people will email you, but they won't call you.
Well, that's one of the challenges I know, from talking with other mayors about social media. It's easy to spout off on Facebook or, a TikTok, like, oh, what's wrong with this guy? But does that bring solutions? You say, well, if you get a lot of emails on a subject, I guess it does, right?
Well, and then oftentimes you can engage. Sometimes you get some good ideas too, because when you engage, you don't know necessarily the background of the person who's emailing you. Sometimes they're knowledgeable in a variety of things that help guide you.
Okay. How do the people hold you accountable if they're not getting what they think the government should be delivering?
So in our community, we vote you're going to vote for your mayor every 4 years. So the accountability typically is in your election.
Yeah.
But if you don't do that, we also have an open mic for our meetings, in which you can have somebody stand up and say, hey, here's what I don't think you're doing right, and try to make you more accountable to the issues that you're doing.
Do they hold you accountable?
I think they hold us accountable. Yeah, I do. But I think they're polite about it. Some of the time it gets a little not polite. That's the only thing that's difficult. If somebody's rude when they're in their engagement of trying to tell you what to do. And I think sometimes that's where we've had some people get a little bit over the top as far as they try to make corrective actions.
If people feel like they're not getting what they want, how would you like them to help the problem?
So we oftentimes will have open houses, or we'll have open times in which people can come in. We make a huge attempt to try to have committees in which people can put input in the committees. We do a police and oversight committee in which people can come and voice complaints about the police department or bring it to the police chief. We try to do things in which are open government, that if there's some issues you have the ability to visit, talk about it, and perhaps get some change.
And do people get involved?
We do get people involved. We have a lot of people. I have 22 boards for the city of Fargo, at which we get 4 or 5 people on each board. So we have a lot of involvement.
So you've been mayor for 10 years. Were you in city government prior to that?
So I became a city commissioner in 2005, and so
city commissioner.
Yeah,
like city council.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have 5 commissioners, basically mayor being one of them, and it's a 5-person board. 2009, we had a flood of record in Fargo. We had the largest flood that there ever was, in which we had 100,000 volunteers. We made 7 million sandbags, and I was hooked then, because when we went through that disaster, it was just the growth of the people working together. You saw the true strength of the community.
So do you read about yourself in the news, and what news do you get? How do you get your news?
Most of our news is a local forum, is the Fargo Forum, is a newspaper that will write things up. Otherwise, we'll see some documentations from different postings on social media.
Yeah. Do you get home delivery of the paper?
Twice a week is all we have of paper anymore.
Oh,
so we do
no,
get
just
that.
Twice a week? That's too bad.
But they print a lot on in between times. So yeah, I kind of know what I'm doing or not doing according to what they want to say.
Do you have a good relationship with the press, the local press?
I think we do. Oftentimes they can help us push out messages that we need pushed out there.
Uh-huh.
I think part of what sells, what they like to sell, is that I try to find, we gotcha. You did this wrong, Mayor, or you did something wrong. And I try not to get into we gotcha types of things, because it does not set up for good government. It's oftentimes set up distrust.
Have you started any programs or to do any like downtown revitalization?
We did do downtown revitalization, so that's what I was talking to you about. The property values have gone up by $1 billion.
So have a lot of businesses moved into downtown? Has downtown changed in Fargo in the last few years?
So in 1990s, it was kind of a dead zone. There wasn't much going on. It was it just was a place that had some seedy bars, and it was not a place necessarily you go down to.
Yeah.
Over the course of evolution, we put in the Jasper Hotel, which is we call Block 9. It's a hotel, and it's a RDO, which is a John Deere dealership, and condominiums are placed down in the main square of the city. We did what we call Renaissance Zone. So Renaissance Zone was an encouragement which you would get no income tax for 5 years and no property tax for 5 years if you improved your building. So that really revitalized the downtown.
That sounds like a very good government project.
Yeah. It worked very well. And then we do show.
Was that your idea?
Oh, it was a combination. It came out of state government, but it came out of Fargo. So the previous mayor, to me, set up the Renaissance Zone. And every time I see him, I say, thank you for that project. That really worked well for us.
And what did that bring in?
That brought in most of our revitalization of the downtown. So that's why I say is we have
restaurants, shops,
residents, restaurants, shops, a lot of women's shops. They have more. We have 4 or 5 times more restaurants. Secondary thing that happened is NDSU brought down to the downtown
North Dakota
area.
State University.
Yeah.
For those of you who are North Dakotans.
They brought in the architect school, the business school, and what we didn't realize is that young people like different restaurants. So rather than having high-end restaurants, then you'll have more of your rice shops or your sushi. You'll have different kind of shops that the kids like, Subway or whatever, that are cheaper for eating, but that's exactly what you need. The next thing
it's a good mix, right?
Yeah. And then we brought more apartments down. So we're moving 5,000 people to the downtown area. And what that does is, as you know, activates it. Then we're more like Brooklyn, where you have activation of people walking, taking their dog out. You heard it here.
Fargo's more like Brooklyn.
Yes.
Okay. All right, good. So who's your political hero? Does someone inspire you as mayor?
I've had a lot of different political heroes. I went to school out in Boston. I always liked Kennedy when the Kennedys talked about what the Kennedys had done for the areas, and people that, what did you do for your community, or how did you do that? And just that question asks not what the country can do for you, but what can you do for your country? Very much, can you be a servant leader and lead your community to a better place?
Did you ever imagine, I mean, you were a doctor first, did you imagine a career in politics? Did you imagine running for office?
No.
No, never?
No, I used
to... As a kid, you didn't want to be president?
I used to do a mission trip to Haiti. We'd go down 1 week, and it was great fun for a surgeon because we do 50 cases, and you get to do all sorts of crazy things in a mission area. But my wife turned to me one day and said, you only do that 1 week a year. And I said, why don't you do something locally in your community? So I said, oh, okay, and that's how I got involved in city government, because, yes, you can do a lot in your community that makes more change.
So is that really what got you into it? Yes. Your wife said, get out of the house?
Well, that's part of it. I mean, in surgery, okay, we can do so many things. So I've learned laparoscopic, robotics, done all sorts of different things, vascular. And you finally get to a point is, what else can I learn to do? So it was kind of that mental challenges. Maybe we could try politics and see how that works.
How's it working out?
It's worked out great. I very much enjoy it.
All right. When is it, a 2-year term or a 4-year term?
4-year term. I'm termed out in 2026, but hopefully I can get all the things done I want to get done.
So you've only got a couple more years?
Yes.
And then what?
We'll see what comes.
Okay. All right. Governor?
I don't think I want that job. You got a lot of people you got to try to figure out what to do with.
Well, you're the mayor of the biggest city in the state, right?
Yes.
So I would imagine you have a bit of a statewide profile.
Yes, I do.
All right. You don't want to announce here on the Good Government Show that you're running for governor or anything?
No, I like our present governor. He's a very nice guy. He and I get along great.
As I've said a couple of times now, I've never been to Fargo. I'm coming. What's the thing everyone has for dinner in Fargo? What's the meal everyone eats? What's the classic Fargo dish, and where are we going?
Well, you're going to get meat and potatoes somewhere, because that's really what we love to have. Well, you got to get that steak that's North Dakota beef, and you'll find out to really enjoy that.
Okay.
Other thing you might want to try is our walleye. So walleye is a fish we have locally that's fantastic. So if you're in Fish downtown, you can get some good seafood, or you can go to my steak place and get a great steak.
Walleye.
Walleye. Yeah, you've never fished for walleye?
I have never fished for walleye.
So walleye have marlin, this little thing when you're
fished for grouper, dolphin.
Yeah, you're bouncing along the bottom, and when a walleye hits, you know it hits.
Yeah.
And then you just catch it. It's like with some of your big fish out there in the ocecean. But
just like that walleye and a marlin, same fish.
Yeah, must be. Yeah.
All right. Are you a fisherman?
I am, yes.
Yeah. Do you go out on your boat, or are you?
I go out in the boat and fish. See, what you miss is you get to go ice fishing in North Dakota. Okay,
so you get to go out. That.
You get to go to Minnesota Lake and drill a hole and stick your fishing rod down there. And now, of course, nowadays it's not like the old days. It used to be had your little ice hut and kind of do that. Now they oftentimes have watch football games and fish and enjoy your all your different activities that you want in the new types of trailers.
So you're an ice fisherman.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
Got to fish year round. All right. So walleye and steak.
Yes.
This is the Good Government Show. We always like to bring it back to good government. Give me an example of a good government project that you were able to shepherd through.
Well, what we did is we set up some different projects that helps us in getting more housing. So the projects that we've had to help to get affordable housing for 55 and older have oftentimes working with partners to build those apartments. And I love going down to the one that we have in the downtown area and visiting with the clients in the lobby area. And all of them, oftentimes it'll be a widow from a farm that's outside the community that came into our community, and this is the place where she's staying. But it's just like, that's good government. You built a nice affordable housing for people, and they very much appreciate it.
Now, I was just about to close, but then I looked at your card that you handed me, and it says, the city of Fargo. far more. Explain that.
Well, we think we're far more because our services we give are just exactly that. So whenever you come into our community, we feel that you'll be wowed by the ability of my employees and how they take care of our streets, get rid of the snow, do the things they have to do to make the experience wonderful.
So Fargo, the city of Fargo, far more.
Far more.
Far more in Fargo.
Yes.
Well, Dr. Tim Mahoney, the mayor of Fargo, North Dakota, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to meet you and a pleasure to talk about Fargo. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. We are far more.
All right. Far more in Fargo. Want to hear more about good government? Check out another show I host, Leading Iowa, Good Government in Iowa Cities. I host the show with Brad Kavanaugh, mayor of Dubuque, Iowa, and the immediate past president of the Iowa League of Cities. Together, we talk to leaders in Iowa cities. We talk about what works and what good government looks like in Iowa. Join us right here where you're listening now. That's Leading Iowa, Good Government in Iowa Cities. The people of Fargo are resilient. I guess they have to be, living in a city where the average January temperature only reaches a high of about 18 degrees. That's cold. The mayor said he had to learn to be patient. That's the sign of good government, waiting and listening and learning on the job. I liked his definition of good government, having good conversations and coming together to make good decisions. And I checked before this show is airing. North Dakota State just won the Missouri Valley Conference title. They were undefeated last time I checked. They've won 10 national championships. As the mayor says, go Bisons. Now I hope the next time the mayor has to stop into the grocery store, no one talks to him. That means he's doing all right. Well, that's our show. Thanks for listening. Please like us and share us with your friends and review us right here where you're listening. Check out our website, goodgovernmentshow.com, for extras. Help us keep telling stories of good government in action everywhere. Join us again for another episode right here. I'm Dave Martin, and this is The Good Government Show. The Good Government Show is a Valley Park production. Jim Ludlow, Dave Martin, that's me, and David Snyder are the executive producers. Our show is edited and produced by Jason Stershic. Please subscribe, then share us, and like us and review us. That's the best way to make sure we're able to keep telling these stories of our government working for all of us. Then listen to the next episode of The Good Government Show.
This podcast is part of the Democracy Group.